Hello, and I wanted to do a video about something different. I was contemplating the Hanged Man card yesterday and how much there is the mythology surrounding it and its place in the tarot. And I'm like, that is such a Judas card. I'm like, I know that Judas is associated with it, but what else is there? So Judas with the money because he betrayed Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, and I forget how many pieces of silver, but he's got the money there, and he's hanged. The depictions of Judas in the art are usually he's hanged by his neck with his head upturned. Here it's by the foot, and this is the Dame Fortune's Wheel Tarot by Paul Huson, and I have the book here, which actually talks. It's very good about the origins of the major arcana. So I wanted to look at this and read what it says because it's quite fascinating. So Dionysus, the ass-eared fool, has reached the end of his Saturnalia. His time has elapsed. He must perish in order to be reborn as Iacchus, even as the seed must descend into the earth to grow again the next year. In Greece, images of Dionysus were frequently hung in trees as a means of securing fertility for the vines and crops. This ancient belief persisted in Europe under the guise of such practices as stoning an effigy at Lent, known as Jack-o'-Lent. Jack may be possibly derived from Iacchus or Jacko. After the effigy had been taunted and abused, simulating the Titan's treatment of Dionysus, it is frequently burned, shot at, or simply thrown down a chimney. The Saxons, however, continued to hang it from a tree. This sounds vaguely familiar to the movie The Wicker Man. It's an amazing movie. Christopher Lee. I think it's wonderful. If you haven't seen it, you gotta see it. Though it was known of Jack-o'-Lent, some thought the effigy to be that of Judas Iscariot. Notice the J and the I there. Actually, it symbolized the entire spirit of the winter carnival over which the Lord of Misrule had presided. The bound, hanging figure shown in the Hanged Man is undoubtedly this Judas Iscariot. And there's the figure from the tarot. Here we can see there's actually like leaves there. I don't really see leaves in this one, but everything is the same. Both of these are drawn by Paul. Let's see. The coin sometimes showing pouring from the twin pouches he clutches is either hand are the 30 pieces of silver. So it's 30 pieces of silver, which heals the ancient punishment inflicted upon debtors. But lurking behind this orthodox images of that of Jack-o'-Lent, and behind that is Dionysus, embarking on his descent into the underworld. The myth of the dying god is a shamanic one. As we have already seen, the Hanged Man shows us the death itself. An ancient Nordic poem, the Lay of the High One, on the surface seems to refer to the crucifixion of Jesus, but actually it deals with the exploits of Odin, who, as we saw earlier, was not only a frosty version of Greek Hermes, but an arc sorcerer, also a prototype shaman. And then there's a poem there. And then some occultists insist there is a practical as well as symbolic purpose to this bondage, in which recent research into sensory deprivation may have cast a light. It gets kind of more out there. But you can see the Judas. So debtors were typically hung by their feet. So it's a combination of all of that. So is it purely a Judas card? No. But it's crazy how these different myths and all influence the major arcana in the tarot. And I was trying to turn him upside down to see how he looks, and he looks kind of worried, but he's grabbing onto that money. But a hanged man and money always reminds me of Judas. So there you go. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. This is the Devil's Picturebook. It is still in print. It is amazing. It's a fun read too. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that, and that I was thinking about it. Thanks for watching. Okay, so for part 2, the interpretation of the Hangman card. This is the RWS. We have him upside down. His leg is crossed. There's no money involved. Hands behind the back. Most people would say, well, you need to look at life in a different, upside down, in a different way, a different perspective. It could also, that's the surface level interpretation. But if you look at the history of the card, it could be maybe debt is weighing you down. There's a reckoning coming. You'll be held accountable for something. It may be a temporary maybe delay in your life. It could be, I could even interpret this as a short stint in jail or prison. You're caught. On a lighter note, it could be, reversal of fortunes is, of course, the popular one too. Maybe you had some money and now it's all gone, or you don't have any money and you're going to get some. That's sort of a overly positive look. I don't feel that this card is overly positive. I think it's a very cautionary card. I think it can be, there's a lot of interpretations, but a lot of them have a sense of warning to them. Be careful. You may be thinking you're getting away with something, but everything comes out in the end. You can't get away with something forever. Be careful. So just be aware of that. So that's interpretation. So what do you think? Do you think it is a overly positive card, overly negative card, a neutral card? It could be neutral. It really could, depending on what's beside it, what's around it. But yeah. So anyway, that's our little kind of deep dive into the card I've been thinking about, the Hangman, and its origins. Thanks for watching.